Hey everybody, welcome to Wine Invest Wednesday. Hope you're doing well. We are well into December now, which is pretty crazy. Coming to you a little bit early today. As always, check me out, Instagram, Facebook, social media. If you are on YouTube, would love to see a subscription from you on there. Just click subscribe down here in the lower part of the corner. We do this every Wednesday, just a quick update on the Front Range real estate market. Insights and statistics and things like that. So anyways, hope you guys are all doing well. Today we are, like I said, into December. Today we're going to talk a little bit about a couple of things I've done today, actually, or will be doing today, that is kind of going the extra mile for my client, and just kind of touch base on that and the clients I serve. No matter how busy I am, I like to do the special little things, and then talk a little bit about what my market education has helped me build, as I've had a great year in real estate, and just kind of the importance of market education when you're choosing a realtor or someone to work with. Other than that, the FHA loan limits did go up. So we'll touch on all that. So let's get started here. This morning, earlier, I was at an appraisal as a listing agent. Sometimes in COVID times, we've been told that we're not supposed to go and so on. Right now, we are allowed to go to appraisals. I've always liked to go to an appraisal for my clients, on behalf of my clients, when I'm selling the home. Obviously, if I'm the buyer's agent, I'm not allowed to really have connection with the appraiser, because there's like bribes and things going on back in the day. So, but as a listing agent, I see the appraiser as the one person who's going to determine the ultimate value of what the home sells for. Now, we do have appraisal gaps and things like that come into play nowadays in our competitive sellers market, but ultimately the appraiser is going to assign a value if there's an appraisal, if there's a loan. And so I like to meet that person. This morning I met a super cool appraiser, asked him, sorry, just got a call, had to get rid of that. Asked him, I opened the door, I had all the lights on, all the doors open, so he didn't have to touch anything. They obviously have to wear masks and so on. I said, I've wiped everything down, and he was super excited about that. He's like, oh man, thanks. Just that connection started our conversation out correctly. He then went in to tell me all about, he's lived in the area and so on and so forth. We talked about the comparables and how I priced it. I asked him a little bit about what he's seeing in his market. Obviously, appraisers are extremely busy. He did talk a little bit about appraisers are traditionally on average older, so he definitely sees some opportunity there for himself as a middle-aged or younger guy, because he thinks that a lot of the appraisers are getting up in age. We're not seeing as many come through. It is very difficult to actually become an appraiser, have a college degree and all kinds of hours, like you're an electrician apprentice or something. So we just kind of talked about that, built a relationship a little bit. It was great. He didn't have to touch anything in my client's house. He was just able to do his thing, measure, shoot pictures, and get out. I walked away from that appraisal feeling pretty confident that I represented my sellers in the best way possible. And so, a lot of people are like, oh no, once we're under contract, we're pretty much done. We just kind of do the paperwork and work behind the scenes. I think that is a lost opportunity to get the most money for your home when you are selling. So I work really hard to go out there and see all the appraisers. Sometimes schedules don't work out. Sometimes I'm not allowed with COVID. But that's definitely something that I strive to do to get the most money for my clients who are selling homes. Next off, after we go here, I'm going to head out to Keansburg. I'm meeting with a builder and my client who is buying a home that is just dirt right now. And we've been working really hard to get this builder nailed down. He's a smaller builder, so his processes are a little bit different. And my clients really want to ask some questions, maybe customize some things. And we're going to actually stand there in the middle of the dirt and talk about it. And I've heard this a lot from people. Some people are even unaware that a realtor can represent you when you're going to buy a new build from the big dogs, Lennar, Shea, Richmond, all those. If you are a buyer, you can be represented by your own broker, and the builder will typically pay some sort of commission on that. So technically, they're paying for your representation. That's a whole different story. We don't need to touch on that. But at the end of the day, it is very important to have representation when you're dealing with a builder. Building situations are pretty intense. There's usually their own contract you have to fill out, and they just kind of go through it, put it in front of you, explain the things they want to explain, have you sign. So it's very important that you have representation, understanding what's going on, making sure everything's within reason and so on. And then, of course, to kind of guide you through. If I'm going to represent you on a new build, I'd like to be at the meetings. I'd like to, I don't get into the design thing because I don't think that's my expertise. But as far as the construction and building the whole house, if you're starting from dirt, I like to be in all those meetings just so we're all on the same page. So I'm an extra, ears for you, because it's kind of overwhelming. They give you a lot of information, then it's gone. So definitely just like to walk alongside you through that new build process. And so today we finally got a meeting with this builder, and we are going out to Keansburg to talk on a piece of dirt because this builder didn't want to meet online or anything like that. So just another way that I strive to, go above and beyond and make sure that I am representing my clients and helping them get to where they need to get to. And so that's what I'm doing today. So I thought that was cool. Two different examples of, classically I've heard that realtors, once you're under contract, they kind of let you deal with the builder. Not all of us, but some of us. And then definitely I know that I'm among very few that go out and meet the appraiser. Sometimes the appraiser doesn't love that. If I get that vibe from the appraiser, I just kind of back off and let him do his thing, be super nice, make sure he or she has everything they need, and we go from there. So just a couple things there. And then just, overall, as the market has changed and through COVID and all these updates and Why Invest Wednesday and kind of where that started, my market education has gone through the roof. Special thanks to a lot of people that I trust, that I've talked about before on here, that I've almost become kind of a market nerd and seeing what's going on and projecting and trying to have those conversations. At one point when I was a young realtor, I decided that I was sick of people saying the bubble's going to burst. We're going to wait till it bursts, and we'll talk to you then. Well, that was 7.5 years ago, and we haven't seen the bubble burst yet. And I've helped clients, 6-7 years ago, gain quite a bit of equity in that time while others are sitting on the sidelines waiting for the bubble to burst. So that was my main intention, to get into the economic side and really dive into everything that's going on and surround myself with smart people that know a ton about the economy and kind of project and things like that. So the market education is huge. For instance, yesterday I had a client who was maybe going to go CHFA, down payment assistance, and they found out they couldn't qualify. I definitely, think that ultimately they're in a better position because they're not getting a, 100% loan on their home, because now they had the money to go conventional, but they were maybe going to rely on CHFA to have a little more cash on hand. Well, now they're going to have equity built in. Obviously they're bringing some equity to the table, and that'll give them a better start ultimately. So they're in a better spot. So just knowing the ins and outs of that and interest rates and different programs has really helped me serve my clients. So if you ever have any questions about that, or I say something that's kind of crazy and you're like, what's that? Definitely hit comment. I'd love to see comments start popping up. I know on Facebook you have to make sure that StreamYard knows who you are. StreamYard's a app I use so I can go live across multiple channels. So definitely comment on that, hashtag live, hashtag replay, whatever that is, and ask me questions, and let's make this a little more interactive as we move forward. And the final thing today, just late, came across my desk a couple hours ago. FHA loan limits have increased. Previously, they were $575,000 for the loan amount. So that means you could buy a house with a minimum down payment of $595,850. Now, that's last year. The loan limit went up to $596,850 today, or starting in 2021. And so that means you could buy a house for $618,497. So about, $20,000-$25,000 worth of gain there in buying power. Obviously, minimum down payment, maxing that out means bigger mortgage payment and so on. I was talking to a lender today, and he just said, yeah, it's kind of crazy. He's like, but people are coming to me with $3,000 rent payments anyway. So that, they're not blinking at those higher rate or higher mortgage rates. So not rates, but higher mortgage payments. Ultimately, that all means that there's just a little bit more power out there for the buyer to obtain financing if that's something they need to do. with money being so cheap right now, it's not a terrible idea to go lower down payment, if you factor in mortgage insurance and things like that, maximize the 2% interest, but then obviously you're dealing with mortgage insurance, and that's a whole nother story. So anyways, hope you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. Let me know if you have any questions or anything you'd like to see on here. It's kind of developing as we go, and it's kind of a staple. I know I talked to a lot of you guys about it who watch it on replay and things like that. Let's start commenting, liking. The main goal for the first quarter there's a lot of goals, but one of the goals is to get my YouTube channel above 100 subscribers. So if you could help me out with that, that'd be great. I hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we'll see how how December plays out here as we trudge through the COVID world and things like that. So anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.